I love what I do.
I love him for
I love it so much.
this guy really loves it. He's serious about it.
Alright, welcome back guys for another episode of Pen and Needle.
What's
And
up?
on this channel we talk about different perspectives from MD versus DO on various subjects. So today we'll be talking about
How to pick a specialty,
Yeah.
right? We're gonna go over 3 main points that we think are important in picking your specialty for most medical students, and it becomes very confusing when you're actually applying. You know, you don't really know where you want to end up with. So we think these 3 points are very important, and stick around to the end because we're gonna go over what we thought was the most important thing for us, the most important point that determined where we ended up, and go over that so that could maybe help you guys out, you know?
So point numero uno is stresso. So what do you have to say about stress? I feel like it's like a major contributor of your decision on your specialty.
It is. I would say it could be, right? But I also have to say that every residency is going to be stressful.
Yeah.
Right?
But
It's
some
not
are
like-
more stressful than others.
For sure.
Like surgery is way more.
Some are more stressful than others, but if you enjoy something so much,
That's
right?
true.
If it doesn't even feel like a job to you, because I remember one attending. Oh my God, this guy loves surgery so much that he never even thought of it as a job. He just loved it. He's like, Wasim, I love what I do. I love it so much. I love all my patients. I was like, oh damn, this guy really loves it. He's serious about it. So to him, it didn't really matter. And I do think stress is important because you don't want to get too stressed out. You know,
if you're the type of person that thinks stress is important, then this is important for you.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for people who just love it, then the stress is just out the window.
Yeah, and also, it's also another point to mention that the suicide rate in medical students is pretty high. Just the other day, you know, I got an email from my school about how a student passed away, and I'm not sure exactly how the student passed away, but there was a section where it went over psychological issues and stuff like that. So if you are dealing with psychological issues and stresses or depression, anxiety, anything like that, make sure you get help before you go and search out a very stress-related residency. But also do something that you love so that it can mitigate those 2 factors, right? And I personally think, though, that it's not as big of an issue, because I always thought of stress as something that came with the territory. No, it came with the territory, right? It came territory. It came with the territory, right? You went into medical school. It's gonna be stressful.
Yeah.
You did your step 1. It's gonna be stressful.
But it's only temporary, also.
It's always temporary.
Yeah.
All these things are temporary.
Yeah, like the surgery attending that really loves his job. He probably went through stressful times.
I love him for loving his job.
Yeah.
Really, he inspired me.
Yeah. But he probably had stressful times, but he got over them, and now he's at that position where he loves it and he can enjoy it.
Yeah. So stress is definitely something that you should think about, but consider it. You know.
So numero dos.
Dos. I would say numero dos.
What's numero dos?
Are those things.
Those things.
Those things.
What are those things?
So money and lifestyle, right?
Oh yeah.
You want a specialty that pays you, because you don't want to come out of school and you're in let's say 200K student debt. And now you're like, oh man, reality just slapped you in the face. So now you're just thinking about how to pay it off. Kind of look into your specific residencies that you want to go into and see what they pay. I do know that, for example, family medicine and pediatrics doesn't pay as much, right? So keep that in your back of your mind. But if you go into private practice, it would.
Yeah, see,
right?
That's where the kind of the differences in salary versus business arise.
For sure.
Right?
But anyone can go, not everyone might want to do
so
business.
I feel money is not even really an issue with doctors, because the landscape is changing, but if you go into do a business, you open up private practice, or if you handle it well, you can make investments and make pretty decent money no matter which specialty you go into.
Yeah, for sure. But for those who don't think about business, because we're business-minded, right?
So this is just salary based. So you're talking about
I'm just talking about salary based,
not owning a business, because then you have no bottleneck.
A lot of professions or professionals, they prefer to just practice in whatever setting that they're comfortable with. So business is a different setting, right? And so you have to keep that in mind. You can always make that money when you start a business. Me and Wakas are definitely business minded, right?
Yeah.
We want to open up our own practices, not only for the sake of money, but also we think we can help a greater population.
Yeah. And plus you enjoy the freedom of having your own business, self-employed.
For sure. But at the same time, if you're planning on going into that profession and just sticking with it and going for that base salary, median salary, or whatever it is, look at it. Just give it a glance over. You know, it might not be a major factor, but it still is a factor, because you're gonna come out of this, unless you're coming from like a foreign country where you didn't have to pay that much money for your medical knowledge, or for your medical education rather. You're going to be ending up with a lot of student loans. And you want to figure out a plan early, because you don't want to get boxed into that. Because the numbers don't seem like anything when you're in school, because you don't have to pay. When you're in residency, you got to pay.
And that also depends a lot on like how you performed in medical school, or which medical school you're from. Like if you're an American graduate, you can get into like orthopedics and stuff like that. They're like 4 or 5 years after that, you're making like $500K or something like that. But if you're from like Caribs or DO, I mean DO, you have more possibilities. Caribs, you know, if you scored really well, you can get the top specialties. But most of us end up in like family, emergency, or you know, pediatrics or internal medicine.
Yeah.
So from there, I guess salary isn't that big of a difference. I mean,
not
peds and family, there's a little bit of discrepancy, but then you know. It's not that great, right? It's like maybe 50,000 or 25,000 or something like that.
For sure.
You can look up the salaries on like Glassdoor.com or something, like just Google.
Different states have their own respective salaries.
Especially,
and I think that also ties into lifestyle, right? Because that kind of goes hand in hand, but lifestyle kind of takes it a step further and goes over your schedule. Like for example, emergency medicine. Now that is a specialty that your lifestyle is going to be super relaxed. You might only need to do like 9 shifts a month, or 10 shifts, or 12 shifts, whatever it is, and you have a lot of time off. But there's other factors that come into it that kind of go back into the stress part of it, because as emergency medicine physicians, what people don't realize is that there is a lot of burnout with them. Actually, it's one of the highest burnout specialties in medicine. Keep that in mind as well. So both things might even tie in together, lifestyle and stress.
Like if you want to be a hospitalist, it's 2 weeks on versus 2 weeks off. If you want to be family, you can do clinic. You can do clinic as internal medicine also, where you're going from 9 to 5, like 4 days a week. And then pediatrics is similar. You can be a hospitalist, or you can be a clinician. All of that ties into lifestyle, what kind of life you want to live. Do you want to have family? Do you want to give time to your kids? You know, all of that.
Yeah. And so it depends on your certain lifestyle that you want, and what kind of priorities you have set for yourself already before medical school, because not everyone starts at the same place. Some people already have a family, some people are just starting a family, some people want to move.
Yeah.
So there's so many more factors to it, right?
Yeah, but you want to think like 10 years or 20 years ahead into the future, because once you pick a specialty, you're kind of stuck there. Yeah. So you can't, if you don't have a family yet, but you're going to have a family in the future, you have to think, do you want to have a lifestyle where you'd be able to afford time with your family, or you want something that keeps you busy all the time? You know?
And honestly, that kind of smoothly goes into point numero tres.
Yeah.
Right? Point 3 is basically career outlook, right? So for those who already know what they want to do in the future, a nice career for them would be like dermatology, which is very specific, right? So you're going to stick with derm. You might be able to subspecialize in specific areas of derm, but it's very specific to dermatology. Now, for other people who just want like a broader scope of practice, right? A specialty like internal medicine, which allows you to go into fields that you might not have fully experienced in your 3rd and 4th year, but gives you that opening, or gives you that door, possibility of entering that door as you enter the specialty. So you can go into cardio, GI. There's so many subspecialties in internal medicine.
Yeah, if you're not sure what you want to do, you can just pick internal medicine and kind of like, you know, even if you just pick it for another year, right? You can do it as a prelim, and then you can do radiology, you can go into surgery. If you're not sure what you want to do. If you're really sure what you want to do, then you can pick the specialty you want.
Yeah. But that is, I think, what we would think is the most important factor. I know for me, I'm not sure about you, I think it was for you as well, right? This broad scope of practice. The fact that I really enjoy medicine. I enjoy all aspects of medicine. I like knowing about almost everything. That's one of the reasons why I entered medicine to begin with.
Yeah, but that you kind of figure out in your third and fourth year.
Yeah.
When you're doing rotations, you pick things you're interested in.
For sure.
And like if you are interested in surgery, you go into surgery, but you don't like it, then you know you're not going into surgery, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Like internal medicine, like I like the aspect of like the puzzle solving, the
Of
labs
course.
and everything. So that you kind of figure out in third and fourth.
That goes into third and
Yeah.
fourth year, but there's so many more areas to internal medicine that you only get a taste of in third and fourth year.
Yeah.
And you get like a little bit confused, like, oh, do I want to do this and do I want to do that? And trust me, your specialty decisions are going to change.
Yeah.
Even in residency, you might be so dead set on something, but
Yeah.
something might catch your eye, or you didn't know about this specific specialty did X, Y, and Z, and now you like it for this reason.
Yeah.
So all these things might change, and it's your state of being, or how you live your life is in constant
State of
flux,
being.
right?
Wow.
Yeah, it's philosophy in here. But like you're always kind of in a state of flux or changing your mind, and you become more and more specified as you go throughout your life. And so when you have these many doors open for you in that specialty, that's also a big factor, and it was a huge factor for me and why I specifically chose internal medicine. And I think it's something you guys should be very, very considerate about. You know, I think that's what for me is the most important point that focus for me, because everything else kind of goes by the wayside. You know, I know residency is stressful. Money's always going to be there as a doctor.
Yeah.
Job stability is there. Lifestyle is always there if you kind of want it. If you want lifestyle, you can have your lifestyle, you know? It just depends on who you are. But your future, your 10, 20 years down the line, what do you want to do? That's the most important part. I want these doors open. So if I really want it, I can do it.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a
Place
wrap.
to end it.
Yeah.
If you guys enjoyed the video, you know, make sure to like and subscribe.
Uh-huh.
Hit that bell icon. We got a lot more stuff coming along the way.